Okay. Hello, biology students of Clovis High. I am posting this so we can edit your evolution project slides. We kind of talked about this in class today, but I didn't get as much time as I wanted to cover this. So I have a lovely example project from a student that I am going to go through and make a few changes to so you can kind of understand what I am looking for. So when we are making professional slides, we want to follow what's called the 5-5 rule. What that means is each slide should have no more than 5 bullet points, and each bullet point should be roughly 5 words. We don't want full sentences and we don't want paragraphs. Okay, that's a no-no. We also want to make sure that all of our slides are consistent, meaning all of the fonts are the same, all of our titles have the same font size, and same thing with our bullet points. So we are going to make sure we have all the points of the rubric as well. So if you want to pull that up with you, we have that nice rubric I gave you guys. Okay, it's also on Classroom. So we're going to start here. So the title slide, you should have a picture or drawing of the animal. We have 2 pictures here. We have our common name, which is the Eastern chimpanzee. And we also have the scientific name right here. You're also going to need to put who it's made by. So you can put your name there. Okay. Let's just say this is made by me. And we're also going to put the class period. So we'll pretend I'm in period 2. Okay, I need to make sure I have that as well. Next is our background information. So making sure that we have all of the things on our slides, we need to know what the species habitat is like and where is it. What does our animal eat? How long does it live? And how many offspring does it produce in a season? So here we are nice. We have our titles consistent. We have a little picture to go with it. And we have no more than 5 bullet points. The only change I would make to this is we still have sentences, right? It says it lives in rainforest. It is referring to the chimpanzee. However, my presentation is on chimpanzees. I know it's about chimpanzees. I don't need to keep referencing it. So here I'll put lives in rainforests. Okay, I don't need to know that it's what lives in there. I know it is. This is perfect, but we want to make sure it's not a full sentence. I probably also would want to define what this is, okay, because I don't know what DRC means. And if you were someone just reading this, you wouldn't either. Here, it lives for 30 to 40 years. We would put lifespan of 30 to 40 years. And it has 2 offspring. We would put something like 2 offspring per season, okay, because that's what we wanted to know. So you can see I reworded it just so it's not complete sentences. Now this next slide we have to take a look at because this is the variations and adaptation section, but it is completely full of paragraphs. Okay, that's not what we want. We want to follow our 5-5 rule, 5 bullet points and 5 sentences each. So here is what I need for the slide, and then we can go through and edit it. I need to know the variations of found among members of species, and variations are slight differences. So like how humans all have different hair color, that's a variation. We also need at least 3 adaptations and explaining how each helps the animal survive and reproduce. So an adaptation is something that the animal has developed or evolved that allows them to survive. Okay, that's different than a variation. So if I were to read through this, okay, I would break this up into main ideas first, and then we can make it go smaller into our 5-5 rule. So some of the chimpanzees are brown hair while others have black hair. Okay, that is one idea or one thought. There are also different colored eyes like green and light amber. That's a thought. The weights of the animals differ, with males being around 82 pounds and females are around 72.2 pounds. So now looking at this, what you're going to see is that we already have 3 bullet points, okay? And I only have room for 2 more according to our 5-5 rule. Okay, but if I'm reading this up here for our adaptation section, okay, there's more than a few bullet points here, meaning we are going to have way more than 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a separate slide just for adaptations. So I'm going to take this off. And we're going to make this first one variation. So this project has no slide limit or minimum, so you can have as many or as little as you want. So we're going to make this one about variations. So let's make sure. Okay. So some of the chimpanzees have brown hair, others have black hair. I know we're talking about chimpanzees, and I know we're talking about variations. So I would just put brown hair or black hair would be a variation. Another one would be different colored eyes. Okay, we could put different colored eyes, green and light amber. Okay, the weights differ with males being around 88.2 and females around 72.2. So we, instead of saying the weights differ, we would just say the weight because we know we're talking about the variation. And I would put an under bullet point. Now you do this when you have a main idea and you want to put more smaller ideas underneath it. So here I would put males weigh and we remove that and then we're going to talk about females, which is a separate thought. Perfect. Now I have broken it up. I've been following the 5-5 rule. And now I want to make sure the slide is consistent with the last one. So here I have Arial 22. Now over here I have Arial 18. So I'm going to want to make sure I have Arial 22. Okay. The other thing I did that was a little bit different is here I put a space between the two. So I want to make sure that's consistent as well. So if I am following this rule, let me see. There we go. I still want to make sure that this is 22. Might need to make the box a little bigger. Okay. 22. Okay. I can move this picture to make it more adjusting, make it different. We'll put it up here. There we go. Okay. I can also do that with my adaptations. So we're going to break it up into bullet points. Okay. We know that we're talking about adaptations. We don't need that. We'll make that into a bullet point. Now, our next idea here is opposable thumbs. So we're going to put opposable thumbs is another one. And then we say larger brains is the next one. Perfect. So long arms help them reach things. Opposable thumbs let them grip food and other items. Okay, we don't need to know that's better or worse. And then larger brains help. I'm going to put help them survive long because think more is a little bit different. Perfect. So then I'll make sure 22. Make sure I have my spacing according to how we did on the last view. There we go. Perfect. Looks great. So you can do this for all of these slides. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I don't want to go through and edit all of these. Okay, but all of these with the paragraphs, this needs to be broken up like we said. We'd first separate into the main ideas, and then we can trim them down into the 5-5 rule. One other thing would be you need to make sure that in your title slides, all of the nouns are capitalized. Okay, so like a book would be, homologous structures should all be capitalized. It's like this one's good. That's good with the title. This one's great with the title. Okay. The last one, now taxonomy would be a little bit different because we are making a list instead of like full up big ideas or bullet points. So this actually works out perfectly right here. It's a list of everything I'm looking for. The last thing here is your sources slide. So this one I am very specific about. So for this one, you needed 3 provided sources that I gave you, and then you needed 1 additional source that was not .com. It needed to be .gov, .edu, .org. What you're going to do here, instead of a whole works cited, is you are going to need to link in whatever website you did. So for this one, this person used Animal Diversity, but he didn't give me the exact link that they needed. So we're going to go through here and figure out, we're doing the Eastern chimpanzee. Okay, so I'm going to go to Eastern chimpanzee. Let's see. What was the name? Let's see. Okay, so this is the site he most likely used. Okay, I'm gonna need that specific link because I need to know that that is where I got the information. But the website itself was called Animal Diversity Web. Okay, now I copied my link. What you're gonna do is you will highlight whatever the site name is. You're gonna go in here. Okay, so highlight, click these little dots, this little link button here. You're going to paste the link. And now anytime I go over it, it's going to take me directly to that site. Okay, so now I know exactly where you got the information from. Okay, so for the other slides, make sure your content is fitting the exact outline I gave you. Make sure you have all that information. As long as you have done everything that I just talked about and made those necessary changes to your slides, we should be getting a good grade on this. So email me if you have any questions or concerns, but just make sure you are following this. I want to make sure we're all getting a good grade. Good luck.